Hello, everybody! Welcome back to another episode of Talking UpStream, a show where us, Some Nobodies, Dylan.
Hello.
I'm Zack. We are Some Nobodies, and we try to talk our way up to a streaming service. Quick shout out to IBM.TV for having us on here, and we're going to try to come up with another show for you guys.
Yeah, so the idea of Talking UpStream, we're going to hold a 90-minute writer's room for you, where Zack and I bring two ideas to the table. We kind of discuss those ideas briefly to figure out what we envision them looking like, and then we are going to be using the whiteboard behind Zack to come up with characters, story elements, timing, production things. We're going to spin the entire idea out from concept to something that we hope that we can present to, ideally, a streaming service.
Yeah, I mean, this is something that Dylan and I do once or twice a week. We sit down, we try to create an idea for some reason, and now we decided to kind of show you guys how we do it and why we do it.
Mm-hmm.
If you remember from last week, Dylan's story one, which was we ended up
giving it a title this time.
A Meaner Kind of Magic, which is very cool.
Sometimes.
If you actually go to our website, somenobodies.com, you can see all of our artwork and what we're doing to get ready for that. And we do have a skit prepared. Dylan wrote a script for A Meaner Kind of Magic.
So the traditional way that the show goes, for those who are unfamiliar with our format, we tend to open up where we actually talk about the previous week's project, because we spend our time in between shows developing it a little further. That generally entails I go in, I write a scene, little rough draft, see what we can do. Ideally, we tend to have a guest on at the start of the show. Unfortunately, this week that did not work out, so we will be reading multiple parts, but then we present that script or idea as it was written to start the show off.
Yeah, and luckily we do have one of our actors from Some Nobodies. Suzanne Grimm is going to be here to fill in a couple roles that Dylan and I just can't do.
Yeah, so whenever you are ready, Suzanne, who is off stage
right
now.
You could be over here again.
Hello.
This is Suzanne once again.
Happy to be back.
All right. So this is the script for A Meaner Kind of Magic, the final scene of the first episode. Maybe. I think we might want to have one afterwards. That's a different discussion you're not going to see. So we have some parts here. I will be reading the sound effects and the prompts, and I will be reading for Professor Gustav and Anton. Suzanne here is going to be reading for Eckhart and Helena. And then Zack here is going to be reading for Alistair.
Mm-hmm.
So, without much further ado, I will lead in. Sound. Ambient outdoor noises. Breeze through trees.
All right. This is Stormcrow. Everybody roll call.
Bookworm here.
Ambient kitchen noises. Footsteps. Pans clashing.
This is... Handbasket? Handbasket? Really?
Don't clog the airwaves, handbasket. Everyone in position.
Sound. Ambient kitchen noises. Footsteps and pans.
Outside the kitchen.
Ambient outdoor noises. Breeze through trees.
Do you hear the beans?
Yeah, they're here.
Bookworm, you in position?
Yeah, I'm in the garden.
By the statue?
I know where I'm supposed to be, Al.
It's Stormcrow, please.
Boys, please don't pollute the airwaves.
Aha! She's catching on. Okay, let's keep chatter low until the target appears.
Sound. Opening door. Footsteps. Breeze through the trees. Afternoon, Eckhart.
Hey, Professor. So, hey, I'm glad I ran into you. I actually had some questions about our last session, and, well, if you have the time...
Well, I do have office hours from 2 to 4 during the week.
I mean, I know, it's just my course load is really heavy this semester, and it really shouldn't take long.
Yeah, you know, I think I have some time where I can answer some questions for you.
Handbasket, stand by.
Sound. Kitchen noises.
Oh, there might be an issue here.
What's that?
Oh, don't come here, don't come here. Don't come over here. Hey, Anton. I really can't talk right now.
Anton, what's he doing in the kitchens?
You're You're that new transfer, right, Helena?
Homeschooled. But yeah, that's me. Listen, I cannot talk right now.
Yeah, I get it, but real quick, I know you've been hanging out with that loser Alistair, but some buddies of mine in Alchemy are having a party tonight, and since you're right here, I thought I'd, see if you wanted to tag along.
I have to study.
Hey, I get it. You're new here, you've fallen into a group that's comfortable, but here's the thing. Comfortable is rarely, if ever, fun. I don't know if you know, but these guys in Alchemy grow some real funky stuff, and I think we could have a pretty good time.
What's he saying?
No, I really don't want to go to your party. I'm busy.
Bookworm, keep stalling.
Anton, can we talk later in 10 minutes to never?
What, are you busy here waiting for dinner? They won't serve you unless you're up in the dining hall.
No, Professor, wait, I have another question.
Okay, I suppose I have time. Is everything okay, Eckhart? You normally seem to have a pretty good grasp on the material.
I don't want to go to your party, Anton. Can you please leave me alone? Could you maybe just come look at my notes for a second, Professor?
Hey, you don't need to be like that. Just thought you'd like to go to a party with a nice guy, not some losers.
Get him on his mark, Bookworm.
If that's all I really do need to get to my next lecture.
Screw it, handbasket. Do it now.
Sound, magical zap. Professor Gustav, glorg. Sound, clang, body hits the ground.
Oh, God.
Glorg.
What happened?
Helena, what'd you do?
Gasp.
What happened?
Dies.
Helena, is there still a cauldron in the kitchen? I can answer that. No, because it's currently occupying the space which used to be Gus's head.
And scene.
Oh,
All right. So that is a short scene. It will obviously go through some revisions. Thank you, Suzanne.
Thank you, Suzanne
Clap,
Grimmer.
clap, clap, clap.
Great job with the movies.
This one was a little bit of a pain to write because the audio format for a radio script is a real chore.
Yeah, we're learning a lot of stuff while doing this, which is one of the reasons we started this project,
Yeah.
was to teach us how to write different scripts, to do different projects, and it turns out this is a weird one.
Yeah, this was a weird one. But it's good to exercise your muscles. It's good to try to do formats. It's good to see what works for you. I'm probably going to write our audio drama scripts closer to an actual screenplay.
Yeah, I like this one. Good job.
No, thank you.
Yeah,
It's going to be a fun one to write, I think. There was a lot of fun ideas going through this one.
Yeah, I had an idea I wanted to run past you. I wanted to see if, since this week we're getting Some Nobodies together to record a couple of our podcasts, if you wanted to record one of these skits and actually put it out there
Actually
to let
produce
people
it?
hear it,
We definitely could.
with sound effects and everything.
We're also going to be putting drafts of all of these scripts up on the Some Nobodies website if you want to go through and look at them. Just as an example, I'm not really a professional screenwriter, but it never hurts, not yet. But it does never hurt to look at other people's work.
Yeah. Okay. So let's get on to this week.
This week,
Let's once again just recap what the show is.
yeah. So, talking upstream, our goal is eventually to get content produced by a streaming service, and I'm tired, Zach. You know why?
Why?
I'm tired because Quibi hasn't contacted us to save their service yet.
I know. I sent him 2 different messages on Instagram.
Man, I like all of
Nothing.
the posts. Nothing. Anyway, Quibi is like. Anyway,
Yeah. Still,
we're not here to badmouth
We can
streaming
do
services.
10-minute stuff.
We're not here to badmouth streaming services.
We'll take
Here on
it.
Talking Upstream, we are each bringing an idea to the table each week. We're going to put them on the board, discuss which one we want to focus on, and spin that out into something that we can ideally pitch to a service.
Yeah.
Or
And then-
produce ourselves.
Yeah. And then throughout the week,
Yeah.
Dylan's going to write a script about it, and then next week we'll do the script like
And you
you
will
just saw
see
today.
whatever idea we have this week scripted out a little bit next week.
Okay. So this week,
What did you bring, Zach?
so I had a hard time coming up with some ideas
Sure.
for some reason. I'm not really
It
sure why.
happens.
Mostly because your fruit thing, your plant with the fruit thing, is kind of lodged in my brain. But I did come up with a scenario that I wanted to explore, if that's okay.
Sure.
I had the idea of a very boring, mundane human, and on a very pivotal day in their life, maybe like a birthday or something, they kill somebody.
Intentionally or unintentionally?
Accidentally,
Okay.
completely. And then how they deal with that.
Okay.
So the story, I guess, would sum up what would happen if a boring person killed somebody and didn't want to get caught,
Okay.
and then goes
All
crazy.
right.
Yeah.
So like they try to get away with manslaughter.
Not
get away.
intentionally,
Okay.
but does not want to get caught and
Okay.
doesn't know how to handle it.
Okay.
So, boring person, unable to handle
Okay.
accidental murder.
Okay. Isn't accidental murder? I'm not a lawyer. Maybe we can talk to Nick from IBM TV. Maybe that's manslaughter. I don't know. Call it whatever you like. Boring man. Yeah, all right.
More
it's
men
fine. It's fine.
slaughter.
Okay.
There's no. Is that how you spell it?
Yeah. We'll put the laughter in the right
Yeah.
place.
Man's laughter.
Man's laughter.
All right. Boring
Okay.
boring manslaughter.
I'm glad you were talking about the plant meat idea, and I'm
Yeah.
glad that wasn't your idea because you did it last week. I'm going to cycle that around. I think this is going to be our bouncing one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that makes sense. We also came up with a name for it because we have been talking about
That's
it.
true.
And it's trap fruit
Trap
sandwiches.
fruit. Like, because we had thought the idea, like, what if it takes that protein from, like, the flies that it eats and somehow mutates that into the impossible meat? Trap fruit.
Trap fruit.
Yeah. So we have an idea for a prop at least.
Yeah.
I think, is this going to be the long-term thing we just develop over each pitch and we never choose it?
No, I think that just to get that out of the way, let's
you
just
think we're
choose it.
gonna do it this
Yeah,
week?
let's just choose
I'm
it just to
fine with
get it
that.
out of the way.
I'm fine with that. Sometimes, if an idea is not developed enough, sometimes it's best just to take that idea and run with it.
Yeah, and just sit on it. I think
Okay.
my idea is interesting. There's a couple scenes that I want to explore, but
There's not much to it yet.
Yeah.
Bring it next week and we'll see what's up.
Okay.
I'm not telling you what to do.
Seems exactly what you're doing.
I'll bring it next week.
Maybe not.
No.
Okay, trap
I don't like
fruit.
your idea.
So just to recap, everyone who has not seen this show before, trap fruit. The idea behind that was, what if a plant made some kind of fruit that was made of a meat? And we kind of quickly came up with the idea that it would be similar to a Venus flytrap situation, where it consumes meat and then makes a fruit that is, when cut, resembles meat.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of the story that we're gonna go through right now.
We're gonna run with.
So
All right. So characters. We tend to always start off with characters.
Yeah, it makes sense.
I think it's good to know kind of what it is, who it happens to, and then what happens to those people.
yeah,
Because about the halfway point of many projects, your characters start to run away with the plot because they react in a way that you hadn't intentionally set them out to react. So at that point,
sure.
the story's out of control.
All right, let's start with the who.
All
So we
right.
know we have a plant.
We have a plant. Are we going Shop of Horrors style with this, where the plant is a character in its own right and speaks? That feels a little campy.
No, I don't like that.
No.
Let's do
okay.
more, slightly more realistic.
Okay.
This is a plant, and this person does.
It has
or-
pods or something.
yeah.
Yeah.
The way I kind of see it for some reason is like a little eggplant. That when you
Okay.
cut it, it just looks
Yeah.
like meat.
On a Venus flytrap, they don't bud. They just grow more traps.
Right.
So, if he knows plants, I'm assuming, just due to how relatable it is for me, I'm assuming it's a man, maybe, for the main character. Could
Sure.
be a woman. I'm going to use male pronouns for now.
Well, yeah.
So, if he knows plants, maybe he works at a greenhouse and he finds a weird one?
He could definitely do
Could?
that. Yeah.
Okay.
So,
And at least, we have resources or people who know plants, so we can at least draw from their experience.
all right, some sort of herbologist.
Yeah. Are you supposed to pronounce the H, the herbologist?
Well, only if his name's Herb, I think.
Okay. We're not going to do that though. That's
No.
too. I think that's too much.
It's too low hanging.
Herbie.
It's too low hanging trap fruit.
Herbie.
Yeah.
Ugh.
We'll call him Herb.
Herb.
Okay, so the what is obviously the plant that makes fruit.
One day he notices that his plant is budding in a way that it shouldn't be.
Yeah, or he just sees a little fruit,
Or
plucks
just
it off,
sees
and eats
something
it.
on there. Does
Blood.
he eat it immediately?
I mean, I think that if
Okay.
you can't do research and you know
Okay.
what you're doing,
Sure.
Plant fruit.
Should we talk about what type of format we're going to make this?
Yeah, I think that's smart right now because
This does not strike me as an audio one.
no, not at all. I believe this needs to be visual. You would need to see this. I think a lot of it is visceral and
I
contemplative.
think a one-off. I don't think this is an ongoing series.
No, I think this should be similar to like a Black Mirror
like a
episode,
short film, like a 45-minute film,
like
maybe.
a 30 to 45
Yeah,
minute.
30
yeah,
minute.
I think that's
Cool.
cool.
Okay.
And obviously, we know where the beginning is already.
Yeah, I don't think we waste a whole lot of time. We show him going into work, maybe, and we show him finding it at work. Do we want this to be kind of like he's caught up in a whirlwind? Because this is kind of revolutionary for the food industry.
Yeah, I think anytime you come across something like this, you're going to want to try to exploit it. You're going to want to try
Yeah.
to make money off of it. So it makes sense that he's getting excited about this.
I had an image of him on a talk show talking about it.
Yeah.
I don't know what talk show. Maybe maybe a YouTube chef or something. We can work in some format weirdness where it's like WeVid. I don't know what we call
Sure.
it. The open source version of YouTube, where it's like, hey, my name is YouTube celebrity chef. I'm here with protagonist. he's got a new ingredient for me to try out, and then we have a short segment where it's like a video on YouTube.
So this is the beginning of this?
No, I think that's probably the initial kind of like...
Yeah, that seems like right around the here
I imagine
moment.
kind of like a short gaining fame montage.
Yeah, I like that. Or some visual podcasts.
Yeah.
I think that's a little more current.
Oh, yeah.
We kind of got to stay away from Little Shop of Horror stuff.
Yes, we do.
Okay, so...
Which is why I don't think we should have him... We don't go the murder route. He doesn't start feeding people to this thing.
No.
No, I think this main
It
character...
just produces it. We don't need to know why just yet.
And I think this main character is a relatively upstanding guy. Maybe he has some loss of innocence from the riches and stuff.
Sure, he's not bad.
Sure.
No.
All right, cool.
So we know that...
We're going to stick away from murder this week. We're going to try keeping that every other episode.
Yeah. So we're going to go with Discovery as the beginning.
Sure. Now, is this going to be... So there are a few different story types. There were originally 6... With the oncoming of modern storytelling, there are 9 now, where it's like rags to riches, riches to rags, where they have everything at the start and they'll lose it. They have nothing at the start, they gain it. There is rags to riches to rags, where they gain it in the middle and then through either tragedy or their own mistakes, they lose it again.
Mm-hmm.
Do we want to try and assign that sort of thing to this now?
Well, let's see if we
Or
can
do
kind
we
of
wanna
build out a bit of a story to
spin it
see
out?
what we're
Yeah,
doing
sure.
with it first. So
Okay.
I think obviously he finds it. We
Yeah.
don't really know why this plant makes it.
Yeah.
He's going to try to sell it, I would assume.
Yeah, he's going to try and capitalize on it.
Right. So is he going to try to...
Is that his idea, or does someone come to him with that idea?
I think his idea is probably replication.
Okay.
It seems like if you know what you're doing, the best thing to do is to try to reproduce what you're going for.
I'm getting the image of him having a greenhouse of these things.
Yeah, he has a greenhouse. Well, I don't know if he has a lot of them yet,
Okay.
but he's definitely clipping and trying to what populate, or what is it called?
Propagate.
Propagate, yeah.
Yeah, we have friends who propagate succulents all the time. They're very good at it.
There's probably some here somewhere.
I would be shocked if you didn't have some.
That's true.
But I was thinking, if we're doing that, if he's trying to propagate them, and he draws attention to it. So if this at least has an upward curve of his notoriety being expanded on.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
So maybe we can show like an incline of his social media status as well.
I'm imagining like a shot of his like people who follow him just.
Yeah.
It does the like roulette wheel thing where it just constantly increases.
And then one time he eats it, and the viewership dips a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I'm just gonna do that again.
Okay. Do we want to give him? So the good thing about it being like a 30 to 40 minute short film is that we can mess with time a little bit, where we can have a large portion of this dedicated to a dialogue-free montage.
It's true. That's why I think visual works with this.
Visual does work.
We can scale up a time frame.
Yeah, I think I'm fine locking this into short film.
I'm just not exactly sure how we're going to end it yet, unless we do either a circular storytelling or what you said, a rags to riches back to rags.
Do we want to go full Black Mirror, where it starts like developing like some sort of sentient life? No, that's too much.
No, what about like a rags to riches storytelling,
Okay.
where he gets popular through social media from this. He ends up losing all that. Plant dies, and then he becomes a social media.
It's current.
Mogul
current.
or
Yeah,
something.
sure.
I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure about that.
He has this. Yeah, no, I like that. Maybe at the start he's trying to do some sort of social media plant-based show. Through this, he kind of gains knowledge and confidence in doing it. Once the plant dies due to some reason, it's not sustainable or something, he has the confidence to start his own thing.
I like that.
Do we want... We need some side characters.
True.
I'm imagining either, or maybe both, a sibling or a love interest.
Okay.
Maybe either like a sister who helps him now. At the start, he's down on his luck.
Now, with his story, I don't really see a lot of the lines for love interest unless we're showing him either being a bad partner, which is annoying.
Sure.
Or somehow the partner helps in whatever he's doing.
What if his partner's a vegan?
Oof,
And then he has this plant that starts growing meat.
Yep.
And then we have some sort of ethical disagreement between him and his partner.
Love that. Okay. But I also kind of like that if the big thing is that this plant creates a meat, but then half or 2/3 of the way through, we ditch that idea completely, and it turns into a different.
It turns into like a spotlight, like
I don't know.
the perils of fame.
Just
maybe.
keep that in the back of your
Sure,
mind for right
okay.
now until we figure this out.
Notoriety versus like
But I do like.
soy meat.
I do like.
It's not soy. It's plant based.
Yeah. Maybe somehow. I'm not sure. We'll get back to that. I do like the rift between the vegan partner and
Yeah.
the herbologist.
I think you should have I think there should be a third, maybe not involved in that relationship, but another point in a triangle. Either a coworker he's chummy with, or a sibling who he kind of like gets leverage, not leverage, but kind of gets balance from.
Okay. We'll go sibling.
I like 3 characters. They don't have to be main characters, but. All right.
And the sibling is obviously on the plant food person's side.
I think so.
Yeah.
They're on the main character side. They can be the voice of reason who kind of like checks their ego inflation once the social media stuff calls out.
You do love your voice of reasons.
Hey, it's a good tool.
Yeah, it's a great tool.
And it eventually once you have that nice ramp up, you have that reality check
Yeah.
where that character comes in and is like, I don't know what that is. I'm not an influencer. Are we doing this where he kind of uses it to gain social media fame?
I think that is an interesting byproduct of this.
Okay. Well, we will at least reference it.
Yeah.
I'm stuck on him showing up on a talk show of some sort.
Sure. I mean, it would make sense. Like to build fame, he
Yeah.
could, he would do that. That makes sense.
So, Discovery.
Wait, pause.
Okay.
What was your initial idea for Trap Fruit?
So this was the first idea I came to the show with. So I had very little beyond the initial concept.
Yeah.
I was like, hey, Zach told me to come with an idea.
Mm-hmm.
Plant makes meat. And then I had the idea that guy tries to like spread fame because it was inspired by our work getting the Impossible meat, like, and how that's kind of spreading throughout the industry and that sort of thing. And what if that kind of like crashes the bottom out of the cost? Because if you can grow it, the pains of processing it and making it are effectively nil.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess.
So a lot of this is going to be the debate whether,
I suppose so.
if this is.
If we're
meat
doing
or
it
not
similar to a Black Mirror episode, a lot of it can be just a concept discussion of the ethics of having like a plant that grows something that is the equivalent to meat. But then I guess the issue is like, how do we paint that as against the idea of that? Because this seems pretty cut and dry.
That's why I say that we ditch that idea almost 2/3 the way out. Plant dies. That way we don't need to kind of close that loop a little bit.
Okay.
And we ramp off into a wildly different story.
Okay.
Which could be a lot of his fame due to this.
He's huddling in a cardboard box with a blanket.
Maybe he creates something that can tell if something is meat or plant-based. Or maybe there's like the most expensive, like Apple or whatever, the fake version of the best technology. Maybe they create something that can prove if this is plant or whatever, and this thing breaks it.
Would he sell out?
Sure.
Because think about like companies like Monsanto like to copyright genetic sequences for their plants.
That's true.
Would the possibility of big agriculture getting into this be a possibility?
Oh, they would definitely be knocking/sending emails or Skype calls.
Maybe we have a rep. Maybe we have like a corporate rep.
Yeah.
Who shows up? Like just it doesn't have to actually physically show up, but maybe they're the one sending emails.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, so we have a person who has a plant.
Mm-hmm.
This plant makes food. This food is probably meat.
Yeah. Are they a manager? So did we discuss whether they work at like a plant store or a greenhouse?
It needs to be something plant-based, or
Because
they need to be an herbologist.
This could be the initiating incident that really blows up their store's social media page.
That makes sense. That's a good start.
Hamerson's Herbology or something.
Hamerson?
I don't know.
Why that?
I have no idea.
Weird.
Thrash Masterson.
No. Never. All right, Hamerson.
Hamerson's Greenhouse.
Hamerson?
I know. I don't know. It was the first thing that came to mind. We don't have to use it.
We're going to use it.
All right. Hamerson it is. Hamerson's Greenhouse. And then they have a boss maybe who has a vision of their store having like a viral Twitter account or Instagram account or Spasm stream. I just really like the name Spasm as an opposite to Twitch.
I know you do.
So Hamerson's Greenhouse, they employ 2 or 3 people. They're small. They're independent.
This is the green thumb.
It's a green thumb. All right. Yeah. Maybe maybe it's like a cactus that's shaped like a hand.
Sure.
Yeah. It's cute. That's cute. We have friends who can mock this up for us.
Yeah. You can check this out on Instagram at the very end of this.
It's coming. We are nothing if not masters at spinning this out into at least an Instagram post.
That's true.
Speaking of Instagram, so I like the idea that maybe they all work at this greenhouse, and it's like the boss wanted the greenhouse to get. They're like not the social media team, but because they're not big enough to have a social media team. But if you look at main character's resume, crew member / social media manager. Doesn't matter that we don't have a social media team. I manage the social media.
Yeah,
and
I'm
it's
in charge
suffering.
of it. Yeah, sure.
We have 250 followers. Our images get 15 likes on average.
Yeah.
But it's more than the big department store greenhouse down the street does.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Sure.
Yeah.
And then for some reason, corporate rep shows up, is interested in product.
He posts something on Instagram that gets a lot of attention, where maybe there are people commenting that they've never seen that before.
All right, so we're going to say that a social post is going to have to be kind of a kickstart of the clock or the main story.
I'm liking this so far.
Yeah.
This is kind of like low to the ground, kind of like everyday people, and I don't think I do enough of this. I like writing about normal people sometimes.
Yeah.
In semi-abnormal situations. This is obviously not going to go out of control. I don't think so.
Not yet.
Not yet.
All right, so because the social media post, the corporate rep shows up.
And we can accelerate this pretty fast because this is only going to be 30 to 40 minutes. Do you want to do act breaks? Do we want this to be... We can do 3 acts. We can do 2 acts. Like, the most recent example I can think of is Parasite, where almost no spoilers because you should go watch Parasite. It is the best film of 2019.
It is the highest ranked film on my letterbox.
Yeah.
It will always be. Yeah.
But Parasite does a 2-act structure where halfway through the film, it changes tonally very drastically.
Yeah, like your game Fiasco.
Yeah, like Fiasco, which is a role-playing game if you're familiar with that.
Yeah.
Do we want to do like a 2-act one? Do we want to kind of see how this spins out? Because I can imagine this being 2 acts partway through, not exactly half, but maybe a little after half.
Sure, yeah. All right, let's do 2.
Okay.
I haven't worked on a two-act structure before. So, okay, so then would you go with what the middle is and then try to get to that? Or
I think the middle is the plant dying in a very, very disadvantageous time.
Yeah.
Maybe they're about to go on like a national talk show, and they notice that it has a yellow leaf, which I think means it's been overwatered, or at least it's not doing so hot.
Or it's yellow.
Or it's yellow if it's a yellow plant.
Plant died. That's the middle.
I don't know if any of my plant friends are watching, but they're going to be screaming at their computer.
Do you do that? You scream at the computer?
Rah! No, not me personally.
You just like suck your teeth and roll your eyes.
Yeah.
All right, so we know that the plant dies here, which means they got to build up to some fame, and this has to be a big deal.
I think the plant
probably
dies,
kept quiet for a little bit.
I think the plant dies, or like at least is unhealthy when they go on national TV.
Sure.
National TV. I think they might get some like. I think part of the montage at the start might be like some local news channels.
Okay, so plant dies, but their social media, their online presence is bigger, and that's cool. They're starting to get, I guess, like sponsors or something.
Yeah, I think sponsorship.
You know, I think that comes when
we're very good at making fake commercials, so we can put fake commercials in here.
That's true.
We also accept applications for real commercials if you want to sponsor us,
or fake commercials.
Or fake commercials if you want to pay us to put it on here.
Okay, so what do you think should happen next?
So they discover it. They have a vastly ramping up social media campaign. They go on some local TV. Do we want them to start propagating it or attempt to propagate it?
Yeah, I think they should definitely attempt once they realize that it's going to start getting sick. So I think right around here is when the propagation attempt.
Do we want the national TV spot to go well, but they notice that it starts looking bad, and then the downward spiral is them attempting to propagate it?
Maybe there is some sort of documentary that gets filmed here that is going to be highlighted here.
Yeah.
So we'll do propagation.
And then they go on national TV and they're like, well, this is the oldest one. We thought we'd bring it because it's the largest and it still produces. We have propagation efforts going on, and it seems like they're all going well. And then in the last half, they see that none of the propagation attempts have made it.
Yeah, love that.
I think this is a one-off weird little mutation.
Yeah. It happened. No
Yeah.
one really knows why. They
Yeah.
can't reproduce it.
Yeah, all right.
They got some fame because of it. But for some reason, maybe corporate rep doesn't know that it's dead, so he's trying to get it.
Yeah.
But it's gone.
What if he's trying to buy it off of them?
Well, yeah,
at the
that's how it
start,
starts. Yeah.
And then they start trying to push it on him, and for some reason, maybe at that point, they've I mean, our own attempts have been going very well. We're willing to offer you something, but it's not nearly the original offer.
Yeah, like they say, well, we can't offer you the whole plant, but we can offer you some of these
We give you
propagation.
some cuttings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's got to happen before the plant dies.
What if they hold out really strongly, and then, so this might be a little bit of a character shift away from what we intended. What if they are initially totally willing to sell out on this at the start? They're a little not skeezy.
I think they're hold offish just to get some notoriety to build.
Yeah.
They want to sell.
I think the national TV debacle, and I think it goes well for them on the surface, like they show off and nothing outright goes wrong, and then the plant dies over the next 2 days or something.
Yeah, I think that's great.
Cool. And then after that, they try and sell out, but at that point, it's taken the world by storm, and everybody has their own efforts in the pot. Yeah.
Yeah, I like all that.
Do we want them to want money just for the sake of wanting money, or do we want them to have I don't think we do medical bills.
No, I mean
I don't think we do.
Their place isn't doing well.
Do we do engagement ring?
They might not. I don't know if anybody would need a reason. I mean, if let's just say somebody wanted to buy Talking Upstream, easily, you would not need a reason to want money.
No, that's true.
You would just take it.
I got debt.
It'd be like, well, I could
The
use
American
an oil
dream paying off
change.
your debt.
Yeah, true.
We're not supposed to talk about this.
No. You're talking about it. Okay.
I'll toe that line.
That's true. Do you want to do a quick recap?
Yeah. So, for those of you who are just joining in, this is Talking Upstream. My name is Dylan. Zach is at the whiteboard. Talking Upstream is a 90-minute writer's room where Zach and I bring 2 ideas to the table. We take those 2 ideas, we spin one of them out into what we hope is a presentable, further developable idea.
Yeah.
You can see on the whiteboard where our notes have developed to the point right now. The idea we're talking about right now is, what if a person discovered that a plant they own has suddenly started to grow a little fruit that has the consistency, taste, texture, for all intents and purposes, is indistinguishable from a ground beef-like product.
Yeah.
But it's plant-based, and how that affects their stores/personal fame.
Yeah, and we think there's a very interesting, I guess, efficacy conversation at the beginning. Plant dies around the middle, and then we're getting caught up now to what our characters are gonna, or how they're gonna deal with this.
Do we want him to reverse views towards the end, where he goes on and tries to talk down the importance of plant-based meat, or is that too slapsticky?
I don't know. I mean, he definitely could go on and talk bad about it, and then maybe people can talk bad about him. And of course, that's big. That's big box trying to talk bad about the little guy.
What if he doesn't sell out, but everybody accuses him of selling out?
Yeah, love all that.
Okay, so we've got kind of like a media blitz, kind of like rags, riches, rags, upward trend.
Yeah.
So, okay. I can see this being fairly comedic, not slapstick.
Not slapstick, but I think
portrayed in a very kind of dry, tongue-in-cheek way.
Yeah, I think intelligently funny. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So we're gonna say that at the end, do you think that the end could be the corporate rep buying the clippings, knowing they don't do anything?
The corporate rep knows they don't do anything?
No.
Oh,
we do.
Yes, we know that. The corporate rep finally gets his deal. He finally convinces them to sell.
I'll buy all of them.
I'll take them all.
Yeah.
And then he's just kind of like, okay, you can make that check out. Hammerson Greenhouse.
Yeah.
Is the greenhouse on hard times?
It's not hard times, but I mean,
do you want to save the community center through a dance competition? Figuratively.
Yes.
Figuratively. Literally, I'm always down for that.
That's true.
Breaking 2 is a fun movie.
Yeah, you should see how he warms up for the show.
Oh, man. Dancing on the ceiling.
So we're going to say that C4 buys all the stuff, which does nothing.
Yeah. He gets not swindled, but he
gets what he wants.
He gets what he wants without doing the research.
He gets what he wants.
Cool, and then we can kind of stick it to the suits.
Yeah, I like that.
If you are watching.
Okay.
You're fine.
Do you think that we should work on a scene for next week, or like to just to get an idea of like what scene is like a pivotal scene to work on the story? Because I think that we have a pretty big gap right here.
Pretty big gap in the last half. Let's try and wind that out a little bit.
Okay, so I'm going to say that they definitely get media attention after the plant dies, which is hush hush news.
Yeah. Are they kind of like bringing the dead plant along anyway, trying to pass it off? Do they try and meet with a prop maker to try and make a fake one?
I think from their initial TV thing, they get a lot of possibly radio spotlights or podcast spotlights.
Yeah.
So they can do a lot of audio things talking about
We can have a fake cameo for ourselves running our own podcast.
We do have 35 podcasts right now.
47 podcasts.
We're roughly about 50 podcasts right now.
So I have this image of them maybe trying to pass off a prop plant, and they're trying to desperately stop people. They're like, please don't touch it. It's very sensitive. Because they had like a friend make like a resin cast, because at that point the plant has died.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And they're still booking media appearances, but the plant has died at this point.
Sure. So is one of these maybe the sibling a props person also, or they make replica things?
They could be local theater,
community theater.
Yeah, that would be kind of fun. That they can rope the sibling into the falsehood.
Yeah,
they can bring them behind the veil and help them do that. Okay. So the second half of them is done effectively Weekend at Bernieing this plant so that they can sell out.
It's a reverse heist.
Yeah. They're trying to sell something fake to some guy.
Yeah, they're trying to heist money.
Okay. This is fun.
So we're gonna reverse heist the rest.
This is way more than I ever thought this would come.
I had no idea.
All right.
I just kept thinking like people eating sandwiches of plant meat.
We can definitely have scenes of that.
Well, no, we're going to. We have to.
Does Hammerson's Greenhouse start selling the produce from this? Does it get to the point where they can actually sell local produce, but produce nonetheless?
I don't know if they get to the point where they sell it, but I do like them possibly tasting it.
What if they open up a small cafe inside their greenhouse where they sell their own stuff?
Oh, and it's so limited.
So limited.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, it's like a barbecue place where the brisket runs out by noon, where they're like, hey man, we're out of trap fruit, but you can buy any of our quesadillas, because all we have is a quesadilla press.
Well, I don't want that. I want trap fruit.
Come by next week when we have more. We only have 5 producing plants right now.
Wow, now I'm angry.
All right, cool. All right. This is cute.
Yeah.
This is cute.
No, I like this.
Yeah, this is really fun. This is a nice...
It's not really things we do.
It's a nice palate cleanser from A Meaner Kind of Magic, which is a little grim.
Yeah.
B, Super Empowered, which isn't grim, but it deals with a very serious kind of topic.
Sure.
This is light. This is goofy. A little bit.
Silicon Angels, which is a grim tale.
It is grim, but we wrapped it up.
Yeah.
The grim part is not that we didn't finish it, because we finished it. 12 episodes, man. We did it.
Boom.
You can go listen to that on any podcast platform.
Literally anywhere. Except Pandora.
Except Pandora, because they take forever. Pandora, call us.
Okay, so we still got to work on this reverse heist, which is trying to get money. We still have to work out our... Is this just a 4-character...
I think we keep it to... I think we add a coworker who gets roped into his scheme. Maybe they're the manager. Maybe it's one of those small businesses where you're very close to... You've been the manager in that situation.
Oh, I have.
Where you work for a small business and you're very close to the manager, because unlike working for a national corporation, you are a little bit like a family in that if one person leaves, everybody feels it.
Yeah, true.
I worked for a game store in Michigan where there were 4 of us, and it came down to... Gravity's really strong today, excuse me.
Oh, I did drop some over there.
That's fun. But yeah, working for a small business like this, sometimes you are very much, unironically, like a family, because when one person's gone, you worked with them very closely for a long time. Yeah, and it's a fun time. I think we have at least one coworker who's a regular character.
Okay.
And I think the manager can be there.
Sure. All right, so they discover this. They start getting some social media fame.
The upward ramp of like we see their follower count increase. So
obviously they're going to offer not a lot of money, right? Which makes them offer a lot more money right around here.
But at that point, they're locked into the media blitz, and they don't take it.
Right. So I
think we have 3 offers.
Yeah.
And I think it's very soon, just before the big central turn. Mm-hmm. And I think after that, I think they have to work to get the third offer.
I think the offer comes in, but there's work to get it. Yeah.
I think the last offer is towards the end, because I think after that big media storm, they try and sell it because they realize it's dying.
Try to get more money.
Or the same amount. Or they're like, we'll take that initial offer. Well, we are developing some stuff in-house which might affect our possibility of being interested in your product, but we'll be in touch. And then they have to really push for it.
So then there's some fast money
Yeah.
struggles here.
Yeah. Fast Money Struggle is going to be my stage name.
Ugh.
That's really good.
I know. I keep hearing you practice backstage.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, we got a good beat. You can rap over that intro real easy.
That's true. Let us know what you think about the intro. It is made by Jared Gleason, one of our friends, and Some Nobodies. Great song. He calls it Quantum Realm.
Yeah.
Good song. All right. What do you think?
So, I think we've got a good spot here.
Yeah.
We need, so let's see. I'm assuming a 45-minute film, just to give us space. Just to give us room to really kind of get into the montages, because I feel like there's going to be a fair amount of those. And we don't do visual stuff yet anyway. But montages are relatively easy because you don't do a whole lot of audio editing. The video editing is just scene. We can get someone, maybe Jared. I haven't talked to Jared in a while, but I haven't seen him. I work in the mornings.
Yeah.
Maybe get someone to compose just something. We could use Quantum Realm.
It's a good heist. It's a good heist theme.
It's good. I can imagine that being overlaid on images of or video of someone just kind of like going on tour.
Yeah. Jared's got a lot of tracks though. We can find something.
He does. All right. Do we want to talk a little bit about production requirements? Because we haven't had to discuss what we need for a visual thing yet.
Oh, that's true.
So, Zach and I right now, almost exclusively, except for this show, produce podcasts. We do audio media. Except for this is our only video project currently. We are working on a few ideas that are within our wheelhouse, which we will be filming at some point.
Yeah. It
requires an entirely different production overhead.
That's true. Like, you can't just download music or make your own sound effects and throw it in there.
You can't.
It's a cauldron.
Yeah. You can't make a setting which consists entirely of audio.
Yeah.
We have to find shooting locations.
That's true.
Which means, if we're going to do this, we need a greenhouse.
Yep.
We need a stage. Somewhere that they could conceivably be on the news.
Yep.
So we need sets.
Greenhouse, stage. A lot of this could also take place at the greenhouse area.
They have their own set from which they do video broadcasts.
We're going to need to do a lot of...
I have an image of a greenhouse where they have, the actual greenhouse with all the plants, and then in the corners is very hastily set up, like curtained off, very clearly like a talk show stage.
We could have this as like an Etsy shop, and it could be done in their apartment.
It could be.
And then we can kind of cut around a lot of that.
That's true.
So one room could be the greenhouse.
If we fake it, we very well could. You could fake sets pretty convincingly. You guys have enough plants in this apartment.
We will fake a set. At some point in our life, we will fake a set.
Oh, absolutely. We could also the good thing about the Boulder Longmont area, there are a lot of independent greenhouses.
That's true.
And some of them are independently owned, and the owners would probably be okay.
But one of the goals of Some Nobodies is to create our own stuff. So if at all possible, and we can do it.
I mean, yes, we create our own stuff, but it doesn't mean we don't necessarily have to avoid using other people's things.
That's true. We will use your things.
If they want us to rent it, we discuss it, because, like I've said before, a shoestring budget, but our shoes are Velcro.
That's true. Is that thicker strings?
No, it is 0 strings.
No strings.
No, we have a no strings budget.
We are no strings.
No strings attached either. We're beholden to nobody.
That's true.
Hello, IBM TV.
Yeah.
Thank you for the platform.
Thank you.
But we could. I mean, one of the things that the pre-production on this would require is potentially reaching out to local greenhouses, saying, "Hey, would you mind if we shoot half an hour footage in your store? We would give you an acknowledgement. We would potentially, if they require it, discuss some sort of rental fee."
Yeah.
If it comes down to that. Of course, we reach out for the goodwill of people. Everybody likes exposure, assuming that they don't need to pay their rent.
Yeah.
Which is the way of things right now.
Yeah, ironically, before current times, Dylan and I were about to shoot our first visual thing, and we got our first location grab, which is at a sporting equipment store.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, we did.
Yeah.
They were cool with that.
Very cool, and we were setting everything up. We were getting ready to go, and then
Global pandemic.
boom, Corona hit. So
Yeah.
that got put on the back burner.
Life hits.
Yeah. But go to somenobodies.com if you want to see how that going.
Go to our Patreon and help us find a setting.
Okay, so we... That's true.
Gotta plug, Zach.
Yeah, that's right. Patreon.com/Some
We're
Nobodies.
at 45 minutes total.
Awesome.
So
Okay,
halfway.
so as far as our settings go, we know we need a greenhouse.
We need a news-ish stage, at least somewhere where they can be there with the plant, showing it off to other people.
True.
Do we want to have anything shown in their apartment? Are they doing something at their apartment trying to propagate, maybe? Or do they do this entirely at the greenhouse?
I like them propagating at their house, just
Okay.
experimenting. That way they know that it's on close watch.
So we need an apartment.
Yeah.
Office setting where they discuss the budget, maybe? Like, hey, come into the office. And, that can literally be a room at a church.
Yeah. What? A church room?
Like, with the like, sliding, dividing walls, and you put some chairs out in the middle. It doesn't have to look like a church. It can look like like a meeting room.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was just wondering why you threw church into it.
Because we used to film when I was in high school, and we were filming our own little minor class projects. We would very often film inside a church because you put the dividing walls up, you cover up the religious stuff, and it looks like it could be a room at a community college or a rental office or a school or a church.
Gotcha.
Yeah, a lot of options there, and oftentimes they tend to be unlocked. And generally, the people are very willing to let you kind of use it for a project if you're not doing it during a service.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think.
No, it's a good idea. I didn't think about that.
That's fine.
That's a great idea.
I know.
All right, my question is,
good
what
ideas.
what fills in this gap right here?
I think we have a minor montage of them trying to propagate it.
This is a dual montage show.
I think so. I think
2 montages.
various montages with scenes of dialogue in between.
Okay. So this is going to be a lot of failure,
I think a lot of failure.
right?
We can show a decreasing follower count. We can show news stories, and we can fake news stories on a website very easily.
Yeah, we can.
Just go in and inspect element, and then you can edit the text on CNN. It's great.
All right, so failure. So this is so I guess a failure montage then,
Yeah.
just as a placeholder.
Do we want it to? We have a vegan partner. We have a scene where does the partner confront the main character and be like, "You're exploiting it."
Yeah, I would say I think a big point of what the character 1 is doing is pushing across that this is vegan, and without maybe no testing.
Yeah. Okay.
And then most people are going for it. It's like, it's made from meat. This is a plant. It's obviously vegan. But obviously C2 is like, I don't think so.
I don't know.
I don't like this.
Have you analyzed this at all?
It's eating animals somehow.
Yeah.
Maybe it eats like rats.
Rats might be a little large. You know what I mean? Because we
Yeah.
want to avoid.
I just mean something other than flies.
Sure. Pest control.
We'll get there. Okay.
There's an offhand comment about we haven't seen many crickets around the shop since we started growing these things.
Yeah, okay, cool. So it's just eating stuff. All right.
Getting a phone call.
Oh, that's interesting.
I'm ignoring it.
Are you taking it live?
I'm on TV. No. No. I don't know who it is.
Okay, so we have 2 different montages in.
Yeah.
This is a success montage.
Yeah. I think we do success and then failure, and then we have a bright spot at the end. I think
Okay.
this ends on an upbeat.
Yeah, it's good for them.
Yeah.
It's good for them. They make money.
Yeah.
Their shop's doing well.
I think. Yeah.
The corporate rep is. So that's good.
Yeah. They pull one over on them.
Yeah. Okay, so let's just say that we had to film a scene.
Yeah.
Number, I know that next week we're going to do an audio version.
Sure. Yeah.
If we had to film a scene, what scene do you think we could achieve filming?
Or right now, if we wanted to go out with stuff we had on hand, call some people up and go out and try and film something.
Okay.
What are you thinking?
Backpedal a little bit first.
Sure.
Let's pick out a scene for next week first, just so we understand
It's a
where.
script.
Yeah, just so we understand where a climax or a very
Yeah.
like an important scene would be.
I think we do the national TV appearance for a script.
Do you like that? I almost think.
What were you thinking?
I think that maybe the third confrontation with the corporate rep after the plant's dead, and he's like, "Let me just like I have all this money. Let me just see it."
Mm-hmm.
That could be a pretty good scene to go
could be
around.
pretty good.
I do like the national TV bit because if there's like documentation of the success montage in that,
Yeah.
and then it goes, so how are things going now? And it's like, So what scene do you think, as a scriptwriter, is more impactful to really drive like some emotion or passion? Because remember, the reason we do these scenes is to get almost a trailer of our project.
Right.
What would you say is the trailer of this? I guess this scene is too late in the game to
I think it's a little too late to really define it. My
I
thoughts
agree.
are either the national TV appearance or their first appearance on the local news.
Yeah.
Where they're like, it's a big unveiling beyond their social media page.
I like
where they're
local
like,
news, yeah.
we might have something big here. Whoa, I'm here with some local horticulturists who claim they have something really cool.
Yeah. I like that a lot.
And then we can have some goofy local news personalities. I'm sure you had some out in Delaware.
Oh, yeah.
And then I had some in Northwest Ohio. And yeah, you imagine local news covering the idea of a plant growing meat.
Oh, and they're so excited.
We could do it a little bit like they have no idea how to react. Like they're just like, so wait, what are you saying?
Why is it bleeding?
Oh, good, girl, yeah. All right, do they have to cook it before they eat it?
He doesn't, but he learns that he should.
Okay. That
Yeah.
first he tries it that first time and gets violently ill.
Yeah.
And then he tries cooking it, and then he's like, this is actually pretty good.
Or maybe he tests
So-
himself later on. Maybe he's the only one that eats it, and when he tests himself, he has like high iron.
Ooh. I have high iron.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
Well, you eat a lot of blood.
The doctor just told me to donate, so I do.
To yourself?
No, donate blood.
Smart.
Yeah.
All right, so the local news scene, I think, is a very good
Yeah.
scene, which is right around. That's right on here, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think they got documentation stuff, so they're very cocky.
I think it's a start before the very precipitous climb.
Yeah. So this is the scene that we're going to work on here.
What if that's the scene that leads into the success montage, where it's like, where at the end of we do the whole scene of them on the local news, and then does the end of the segment, and they're like, yeah, and finally we're here with Vince and Jim. No, we're not doing Vince and Jim.
Vince and Jim?
Vince. I like
Wait,
Vince.
the main person is Vince?
Why not?
There's no cool Vinces. Give me a cool Vince.
Diesel?
Vince Diesel? Alright.
I don't know. We don't have to do Vince.
Vince Petrol.
Vince Petrol.
I like Diesel.
Yeah, I guess. Ugh.
No.
Pennzoil. His name is Pennzoil.
We don't need a name right now.
No, we don't need a name right now. But I'm here with main character and so-and-so. They're from Hammerson's greenhouse, and they have something really cool to show us. And then they turn it over. And they show them the plant. They give them a little bit of a rundown on what happened.
Mm-hmm.
They talk about how they're propagating it. They talk about how they have a cafe open. And they talk about how you can expect more from it, and how they've already been getting hit up by big multi-conglomerate corporations.
Yeah.
And the local news is like, well, yeah, you heard it here, Hammerson's greenhouse, go check it out. And then it like, the music swells and it kind of zooms in on the two of them, and they look at each other, and they kind of like, and then it launches into this montage of like
Street
people lining up
success.
outside a greenhouse,
Yeah.
people eating burgers, props. We'd have a prop fake burger. I don't know what we want this to look like.
Yeah.
This is all under production stuff. Where
I
we
think
need
it should
props.
look like a grilled cheese.
Yeah.
Like a steak sandwich.
Okay.
Not grilled cheese, like a steak sandwich.
Like it's got the little mini slices.
It's just like cut up
Yeah, all right.
chunks, and it looks like it's a
It
gray
doesn't-
like meat.
It doesn't brown.
Oh, it doesn't brown.
I say for some reason it does not brown.
Oh.
So it's just gray. It's
Ew.
really unappetizing looking.
Yeah.
But if you season it right, it tastes great.
Just like meat.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like that.
And then that prop's really easy to make. We just do like an uncooked steak sandwich almost, where we just gray it on either side.
Yeah, well, we have
Ugh.
enough fake meat to find something that would look
We
like
do.
that. So,
Yeah.
all right, so we got our scene for next week.
Okay. Do we want to spin these characters out a little bit?
I was gonna say we got to flesh these characters
Yeah.
out. So the herbologist, main character. Obviously they're working at a not great greenhouse.
Yeah, I say they're earnest, but they're not
good,
doing too hot.
They're good people. They're trying.
There's a Home Depot down the street, and they have a big selection of succulents.
What if they're the push for social media because their store doesn't do it?
Yeah,
and it just also lines up with this thing.
It's a super small team.
Yep.
They have maybe 5 people, including the owner, who is a manager who works. Like Vince has been. Thrash has been here like 6 days this week.
No, his name's Vince.
Okay, the manager's name is Vince.
Oh, okay.
That's what I was saying.
It's not Thrash.
All right, if you say so.
Wait, what's all right?
So, who the main character's name?
It's like a Phil.
Steve? Phil?
Phil?
Not Bob.
Not Bob. I hate that.
Not Rob.
No, bad names.
Not Jim.
Love Jim, but no.
No. So, single syllable. Everyman.
Nick.
Nick?
Phil. Well, it's got to be.
Phil.
Yeah.
Because philodendron.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's what pushed him. Sure.
It's totally appropriate.
All right, so Phil.
I say we stay away from flower names for the women. No Daisy, no Petunia,
No.
no Lily.
No, this
No
isn't
sunflower.
even a flower name to me. It's to you. Okay, and he had.
Philodendron, yeah.
No, I get it.
Yeah.
I get the reference.
Okay, cool, good.
Okay, so Phil's got the plant. His partner, Phil and don't say Lil.
Victoria?
Phil and Vicky. Phil and Victoria.
V? I don't
Phil and
know.
V.
I'm drawing for. I have a very good friend named Victoria. I don't know.
Because she's a vegan now, she has to be named V.
I mean, it is a short film, so you don't necessarily have to go for depth in name.
All right.
I'm okay with yeah.
Right
Phil
now.
and V.
Yeah.
All right.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Siblings to Phil.
So we older or younger sibling?
It's probably younger.
Same gender or not? If I
Doesn't
kinda
matter.
I kind of like Phil having a sister
Yeah,
as a,
that
as
makes
a
sense.
foil against V.
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
All right, and I say
Is it really Lil?
no, we don't do Phil and Lil. We're not doing a Rugrats shout out.
Good. All right.
For real.
So this Phil and Gil. Let's see. So the sibling is on Phil's side.
Yeah, I think the sibling eggs Phil on,
Yeah, that makes sense.
and V is the V for voice of reason.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it's all coming together.
Here we go.
This is how it goes, guys. Hey, if you're just tuning in, this is Talking Upstream. My name is Dylan. Zach's at the whiteboard.
Hey.
We are Some Nobodies. We are content people, and this is a writer's room in which we take an idea, we use this whiteboard and our own back and forth to spin an idea out into something we can present to people as a concept.
Yep.
Right now, you want to explain it?
Sure.
Yeah.
So far on Talking Upstream this week, thanks to IBM.TV, what we have is Dylan brought back my idea from last week, Trap
This is
Fruit.
my idea from the week before.
We'll get to that later or earlier. He did cancel out because he's a pushover of my idea, which is boring manslaughter.
Boring Man's Laughter is how you pitched it to me.
It's a good name. Okay, so Trap Fruit. Where we pick up in this story is the discovery of this one person who works at, so far this person's name is Phil. Phil works at Hammerson's greenhouse. Hammerson's greenhouse isn't doing too well, so he decides he's going to go into social media. He's going to start trying to push a little bit of online presence for his greenhouse. At the same time, simultaneously, he finds that he has a plant that, for no reason that we know of, produces some sort of fruit that mimics meat. It bleeds, it cooks, it tastes like meat when seasoned, but
gross.
it comes from a plant, and there's a lot of conversation there. Now, we decided to go with a 2-arc structure for this one because we haven't worked with that one before, and we just kind of wanted to see where this was going.
Yeah.
We decided the best benefit for this specific story was to put it into like a 45-minute mini movie or a Black Mirror-esque style show. We figured that it is a pretty clever idea to go through this idea of whether this fruit is a meat or not meat, whether vegans can eat it, whatever. And because of this, their social media presence builds and grows. I think it's pretty clever to have the plant die in the middle, and that way
It's a good turn.
Yeah, and that way there's no more conversation anymore about any of that. That's actually out of the picture. What we're going with now is similar to a reverse heist, and trying to get as much money out of a nothing product that we can.
All right. I'm just looking up names for his sister, maybe.
Okay.
Hilda.
Sure.
Yeah, alright. Oh wow, alright. I had more comedic options, but Hilda's a good one. Hilda and Phil.
Phil and Hill.
Phil and Hilda.
Sure. Okay.
Win.
Corporate rep. His name is like a Roger. Like
Jameson.
Steve.
His first name is Jameson.
Jameson. No.
Oh yeah, James Jameson, please.
Okay. Jameson.
And their manager can be...
Vince.
Oh yes, we decided on that.
Vince Petrol.
V-I-N-S.
VIP. Vince I.
Emmanuel.
Petrol.
Vince I. Petrol.
Yeah.
Ugh, what a name.
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
his last name is Hammerson.
So we know pretty much a lot of this.
Yeah.
Right? This is a build up of social media.
Yeah.
There's a lot of cooking stuff.
Yeah.
This is our scenes.
They experiment on how to prepare it.
Yeah.
We have a little bit of that.
Him eating it by himself.
Yeah.
Gross himself
They
out.
serve it to someone, and that someone is blindfolded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it
Like
tastes
just a straight plate of it, and then it's just like...
It tastes like a mix of veal and kangaroo.
I've never had kangaroo.
You should.
Have you had it?
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
It's fine.
There was a bar near my house in Ann Arbor that it's called the Worst Bar, and they had exotic sausages.
Ooh.
Crocodile was great.
There's a
actually.
place that was close to me in Newark, Delaware, and it was called Matilda's, and it served kangaroo burgers.
Huh.
It was like
Alright.
an Australian themed.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Matilda's?
Matilda's.
Hmm.
It was actually half Matilda's, half this mac and cheese park called
Yeah.
Mad Max.
Mad Max is a pretty good name for a mac and cheese.
Yeah, except it was only half a restaurant. So when
Yeah.
you walked in, like even though it was open, there was
Yeah.
a line down the
Alright.
middle.
Cool.
Once I did karaoke at nighttime, so that was real cool.
All right. Oh, I miss karaoke. I miss things being open.
I know. We'll get back there.
All right. So we've got some characters.
Yep.
We have set ideas. We have prop ideas.
Yeah, I think we should flesh out our characters a little bit more.
Yeah.
So Phil.
Yeah.
Well, I think that the main push of what they're doing is to help the greenhouse out. Because they are a tight family,
Yeah.
because it is an indie place.
Is the manager Vince? Because we had the idea that we had another coworker who helps Phil. Is that going to be Vince? Or do we have a secondary coworker on the same level? Does he have like a social media partner?
Well, I think
and
if the
all that stuff?
coworker is the manager, and the manager also has a stake in whether they're getting more business or not, which they are. So that I don't know if we have a need for another character just
My
yet.
only question with that is that if they are on the media circuit, who's managing the shop?
Oh, like these people are going. I don't think they're going on the media circuit. I think a lot of people are coming to them
Okay.
in their place.
Okay.
And he's
okay.
just for it.
Gotcha.
And then occasionally they do go outside, but
That does
mostly
reduce our need for sets potentially because they could be reporting on site. I'm so and so with Big News Network,
Yeah.
BNN.
BNN, the home of all big news.
Big news, big all the time. Big news, big all the time. There's a hyphen in there where they messed
Big news,
up.
big all the time.
Ooh, we gotta get a new saying for our network.
I'm Big Biggerson.
Big Biggerson of Big News.
Okay, what do you think we should work on next?
I think we should. I think
Yeah, we still
should
gotta
get a few more like. I think we need some character highlights,
So
some
they're-
tidbits.
They're all going for Hammerson's greenhouse to
Yeah.
be better off.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Now, we know that C2, or V, is a vegan.
What do they want beyond doing their jobs before this story? What does Phil want beyond just going to work? Does he have dreams of making it big in entertainment? Does he want to be a social media manager for a large greenhouse, and this is kind of like the stepping stone he's decided on?
I think it'd be interesting to give everybody initial wants
Mhm.
and then ending spots. So, Phil, I think, would like to have his own nature show,
Okay.
like a Richard Attenborough, but more plant-based.
Okay.
Ends up just as a social media manager for... No, not the corporation.
No.
No.
I don't think we want him to be the owner of the greenhouse.
No.
Do we want him to go back to small town life and be kind of like content working for a small business?
I
if
would
you
say-
really like it and it's a good business, can be a really fulfilling lifetime thing.
Oh, I'm not going to fight that.
no,
Honestly,
I know. I'm not putting it out as a thing.
I would like all of the main people to be better off than when they started.
Yeah.
I think that's a good
Yeah.
story. So having him go back to the beginning, I'm not a big fan of that kind of idea.
Sure.
I think having him
Does he
better
leave
off.
Does he wind up not at the greenhouse anymore?
Maybe he works them as a social media manager, like, for free, while he does his other thing.
I think he should still get paid for it. I don't know. I'm just saying.
I mean, he just, like, it's just a posting for a greenhouse.
Yeah. But that's effort he's putting in.
All right, we'll talk about his salary.
He's entitled to the... I'm not going to get into this.
Tune into the after show. We talk about his salary. Either way, he has a better off job. Not that that's a bad job, but he has, in his opinion, a better off job at the end. But he still does.
He advances on his idea of a ladder.
Yeah.
Whatever that is.
Probably a podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah. That sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah. We can make that podcast.
We could. Yeah.
Okay, now C2 V.
Do they get married? Like, are we gonna have it be like a full on like old school? So
Maybe they're already married.
The old school definition of tragedy versus comedy is that tragedy ends in a death, comedy ends in a marriage. Are we doing the old school comedy?
I don't see a need for like.
We haven't done admittedly this is the third idea we've done. We haven't really done a romance idea. I say we could have a little bit of that in here.
But that means that this would be like something in here would be the crux of that, or a reason for their
relationship. I don't think it
relationship.
needs to be a focus of that. I think
It just also happens.
Like, what's that?
It just also happens.
It just also happens. Like they're waiting to be a little more financially sound before they get married.
A need for money would be the wedding,
It could be.
or their own place, or whatever.
It's all tangled up.
Their own indie greenhouse. Sure, I guess we can.
Yeah, okay.
I guess we can definitely put wedding at the end, just so that there is a.
It doesn't have to be a focal scene, but I'm saying like at the end we have him operating a keyboard or something. He's got a new ring or something, and that's
Sure.
the only reference we make.
And we also do need to give him a monetary goal why he wants money.
Yeah.
It's just easier for an
I
audience.
think financial stability is probably enough for them to be like, we're not going to marry it until we're financially stable. This greenhouse
Sure.
thing might be good, but it's not big enough yet.
Yeah, you got to sell this trap fruit. You got to hustle this
You
trap
could.
fruit. Yeah,
Yeah.
trap fruit bacon.
I don't know if I want a ring earned on the backs of your plant meat. It's blood money.
Well, that's all I can afford right now.
I love you, but okay.
That sentence was too long. Okay, so we know. Okay, so now we have them having financial need. We have C1 and C2 having an end goal and an end period. They're going to end married. They're going to end happy. They're going to end with a bit of an inside chuckle because they got over on corporate man. Now the sibling is also going to make off pretty well because
does Phil wind up doing freelance social media work?
that's what I suggested. You said
You didn't say freelance. You said
what's freelance? Oh, by himself.
where he goes out and it's what I do with resume writing, where it's like, hey, I'm a resume writer. Contact me if you want something done, and then people go to you and being like, hey, I have a project. This is my rate. Well, this is my rate. Pay half up front. Always get half up front. Don't get cheated.
I really thought freelance was free. So
No, no. How
I've been
dare
doing
you?
a lot of things freelance recently.
No, freelance is where you get you are your
You don't
own,
work for somebody
You
else.
don't work for someone. You provide a service based out of your own thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's a social media marketing person.
He does freelance social media design, website stuff.
Sure.
He just has the confidence and like the secure foothold where he can really open up his own social media thing.
It's got a bit of a name too. Yeah, I'm into that.
Okay. The partner.
Yeah, go down that while I fill in a couple of things here.
Yeah. So I don't want to make her entire identity within the story that she's vegan. That's enough of a punchline already. You know the joke.
What's the joke?
How do you know someone's vegan? Don't worry, they'll tell you. I don't want that to be the entire crux of her character.
No.
What does she want? Out beyond being with Phil.
Yeah.
Beyond the companionship of being with someone who is moving. Ideally, they're both moving forward on their own track simultaneously.
Yeah. If this isn't an Etsy thing, I feel like she would have some kind of need in her own business that is flower or plant based.
Maybe she wants to run a greenhouse, whereas Phil is like, I'm here because he lets me do social media stuff, and you like plants and I like plants.
Yeah.
But I'm here for the online stuff. You're here for the plants. She goes, I am here for the plants, and then she pets a succulent. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's been a while since I made a joke. I wanted to end on a punchline.
Yeah, I forgot what to do when you make those.
I know. Nobody laughs.
You made a sound from me.
Yeah. Nobody remembers the bad ones.
Okay,
just
so
keep making them.
V wants to own her own greenhouse.
I think so.
She's hustling.
Yeah, I don't think that's too one facet. Do you?
Not yet.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
I mean, she wants she wants her partner to be happy.
Yeah.
She wants her own place. Maybe he's not doing very well at his job for some reason.
He just has trouble getting traction.
Yeah. Now, what about the sibling?
She wants to be rich.
Yeah.
I say with Hilda, we go just like, she's like, you can sell this. You can sell this. You can buy her that ring she deserves because V is a treasure and you don't want to lose. I say we do that.
Yeah, sure.
Like, V is a treasure and you don't want to lose her because if you lose her, I get her. I don't know. Yeah, we do that.
Yeah,
I imagine Hilda being kind of like I think Hilda's going to be the comedic vehicle.
Yeah, I like that. That's funny.
She wants to be rich, and she sees this as an opportunity, and she's going to... Her brother is too... He requires too much action to get started, so she's going to provide that action.
And where would she end up at the end of this?
Maybe she uses this to be like an agent for someone. She's like, hey, he does social media. I do traditional media. I have a degree in like VFX or something like that. And so she leverages that into getting a position where she does film editing of some sort. Maybe it pays off her college tuition.
Oh, she can't make that much money.
No?
College tuition?
40K?
It's like so much money right now.
Well, right now, yeah.
I'm just kidding, yeah.
You're right.
Okay, corporate rep.
That would be catharsis for a lot of people watching.
That's true. Corporate rep. Now, they are obviously just money driven.
Sure. I have no issue doing that.
They are one note.
Yeah.
That's fine.
He's the closest thing we have to an antagonist or villain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, if you had to pick an actor to play him, can you please say Jeremy Piven?
Jeremy Piven?
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a good
Who
one.
do you see? We actually forgot to do that last episode. One of the things that Dylan and I normally do is when we get to about this point in a storyline, it's easier for us to think about these characters as actual actors, just so that we get a bit of a mannerism, start understanding some characteristics of this person, and really just to start seeing them in our own mind, really. Now, if you were to throw some characters out for any of these, who do you have in mind?
Fred Thompson as the suit.
Fred Thompson from
Die Hard 2, Hunt for Red October.
Oh, okay, cool.
He was in Law and Order.
Yeah. No, I got him now.
Is that who I'm thinking of? No, Ray Wise. He's still alive. Yeah, he's still alive. He's still active.
All right, who else you got for these people? How about Phil? Now, Phil has to be kind of lovable, kind of a goofball, not very Seth Rogen-y.
No.
More like what?
My first instinct...
Griffin Newman.
I don't know that.
Oh, he's the host of Blank Check podcast. You might have seen him in the commercial for the movie The Rookie, which his scene got cut, but he made it in the commercial.
Yeah, I can see that.
I like that. For right now.
Yeah, my only other one would be... I'm completely blanking. Parks and Rec era.
Chris Pratt?
World. Yeah, but Parks and Rec era.
Oh, Mouse Rat, Chris Pratt.
Mouse Rat.
Yeah.
But he's too big.
Yeah, I don't like him.
He's too big. He's been repled.
I need someone that looks like they know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
Not just...
Chris Pratt got replaced by a reptilian when he got fit.
Not goofy Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah, no, we're not getting Mark Wahlberg involved.
Okay, V. Who do you see for V?
Let's see. Lauren Lapkus?
That's not bad. Yeah. Can't give me a name I don't know how to spell, but that's fine.
I think LAPK. I think it's KIS.
Sure.
Yeah, I think you got it.
Okay. The community theater.
Oh no, I think Lauren Lapkus for Hilda.
Okay, cool.
Because she can do goofy and exaggerated.
Yeah, true.
So for V, I mean, I don't know her name. The female lead from Palm Springs, the mom from How I Met Your Mother.
Oh, yeah. What is her name?
I'm gonna look this up because I'm embarrassed.
That's okay. You're good at looking things up.
She's on the come up. She's good. I like her in everything she's been in.
Yeah. Now the coworker.
Talking as if we're actually gonna cast these people. Kristen Milioti.
Oh yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Once again, just to get these people's face in our brain.
It's just so that we can further characterize them. We do not expect to secure any of this talent. Though who knows?
No, we would like to.
Who knows? They need work.
Okay, coworker / manager person.
So not Jameson, that's corporate.
Yeah.
Vince. I imagine someone somewhat awkward.
Yeah. Like a Fred Armisen.
Fred Armisen, or I was thinking, I can't think of any of their names. The voice of Cyril from Archer.
Cyril. Oh,
Jerry from Rick and Morty.
Chris Parnell.
Chris Parnell.
Yeah.
I was thinking Chris Parnell.
I love that.
Very smooth, but in like a semi-inhuman way.
Like the coolest stepdad ever.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Excellent.
Inoffensive. Not a bit of pepper in there.
All right, so let's kind of work on this scene that we're going to do for next week.
So, this is the initial local news appearance they have.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah, so local news, things are going very well for them on social media.
So it's Phil and Hilda.
Phil and Hilda and
2 anchors?
2
I
hosts.
think it's like a morning news, local morning news.
Love that.
Host 1, host 2. They're cheesy, they're corny.
Yeah.
They're local yokels.
Yep.
I don't like that phrase. I'm not going to use that again.
Shouldn't use it.
No.
Actually, if you can cut that out, that'd be great.
Yeah. We'll talk to them about doing it ourselves.
Yeah.
We'll cut that out of our version.
We're those people. All right, we're the yokels. Okay, cool.
We
So,
are.
2 daytime news anchors.
And so we got 4 characters in that scene. That's
Yep, that's great.
it. So they have the plant.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm imagining this being presented as if it was the newscast. We do the news intro.
Sure.
Dun 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 dun. Swoop.
Yeah.
Where are we setting this? Small town USA.
Yeah.
Not Iowa. Or do we want to do Iowa?
West Des Moines?
West Des Moines?
Yeah.
Are we going to set it the same place that we set everywhere that we've never been?
Either that or somewhere in Delaware.
You think Delaware? I think this would be pretty fun in Ohio.
Okay, sure. Ohio. Well, last one was in Akron, Ohio. The superpower one.
Superempowered was in Akron, Ohio?
I feel like I wrote the word Akron
You did.
up there, yeah.
No.
I think someone suggested
Mark
Akron.
recommended Akron,
Yeah, Mark
Ohio.
recommended, yeah. Okay, so somewhere in Ohio, that's fine.
Somewhere.
So,
Yeah. Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in. My name is Host.
And I'm
Host
2. You're not going to believe what we have here today.
Oh, what a story.
We found on Instagram.
We do like to find Instagram stories on occasion. It is the biggest piece of social media out there.
Now, I have to tell you, Host 1 is, as the kids always say, always be gramming.
I am a thought.
I don't know what that means, actually.
Oh, don't look at... Never mind.
I can't yes him with that one. I don't think he should have said that.
It's okay.
In this thing, the 2 hosts talk about how they found this plant thing.
Yeah.
And it's getting a little bit of culinary.
I do like to throw out a couple of likes for the kids.
Or they found it on Yelp for some reason.
Yelp?
Because they do food.
Oh, yeah.
So it'd be funny if they're like, we meant to do this for our food segment, blah, 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 blah. So, I like that. So we have our 2 news people. And are they asking questions?
I think they... it's like a showcase, like when a local station has like an exotic animal on, like a cat, like a big cat, where it's like they have a table and it's like, so tell us about yourselves and tell us about Hammerston's greenhouse, and they mispronounce it.
Yeah.
And then tell us what you brought here today, and then they have the plant on. It's one of those rolling counters where they have the plant there. We can get that from work.
Yeah, we can.
Yeah, without them knowing.
Well,
they're not watching this.
No,
like 4 people do.
None of our friends watch.
2 of them are my parents.
Hey, Kim.
Thank you. Oh man, I just lost all of my inertia.
News anchors.
Yes, news anchors.
So I like when news anchors. Okay, so I like when news anchors do that thing where they ask questions and then when the person responds, they do not register what they're saying. They just move on to the very next thing. So I think it's funny if they do ask a couple quick questions. Maybe if they are food-related questions that obviously have no relevance. What else do you think that scene should... How should that scene be, captivating?
I think we highlight the cluelessness of the anchors.
Yeah.
I think this is the comedy scene.
Oh, this is definitely a comedy scene, yeah.
So,
but the thing is, the news anchors are arrogant, but also Phil and Hill are both very arrogant.
I think Hilda kind of takes the reins at first, and Phil rises up to meet her energy, and it gets to the point where they are just, rapid fire nonsense, talking about production. We're ramping up production. We got a few of these babies propagating.
Well, how does it taste?
Fine. You season it. What? You ever had tofu?
Oh.
What?
I have had tofu once.
I had tofu once. I was in New York.
No, it wasn't New York. It was New Jersey. Well, I saw it on your Instagram.
Well, yeah, I am very active on Instagram.
It was in New Jersey.
You know, that picture got 254 likes.
I was one of them.
I know.
I took it back, just so you know.
Oh, someone replaced it.
Wasn't tofu, just... Anyway. Yeah. I forgot where we're going with that.
No, that's good. So it's, and this leads into them, I think, as the scene moves out of the comedy intro into more of the actual substance of the scene, they're like, yeah, and we work for Hammerson's Greenhouse. You can find their Instagram here. And then the music kind of swells. The actual music we have for the show kind of swells, and it launches into the montage of the upward rise through the ranks. So, like, at the end of the scene, music swells.
I love it.
We have 10 minutes.
So, now, if this were similar to a Black Mirror, and let's say we wanted to revisit this world again, what is a stinger/cliffhanger?
5 years later, it shows... I'm going to go outside the realm of us attaining this shot. I'm going to say that if I had the ideal budget and crew and equipment, this is what it would look like. So, we show a field. It is growing something that looks like the trap fruit plant. You see automated plants, like, harvesting it, or something like that. It shows someone at a supermarket, and the aisles are just packed with stuff advertising this new, like, fake meat or something like that. I don't know if we want to go sinister on a stinger.
Yeah, of course you do.
You mentioned Black Mirror, so I'm
it's got to be if we're not doing sinister through here.
I'm leaning towards sinister.
Yeah.
We have someone looking at their phone, and they're reading a news story about how they don't, because these things are like new studies show there's like a new weird hybrid of vegetable and animal, like a new kingdom emerged. Yep. And due to the lack of like holding power of their roots, there's like shore erosion amping up and landslides, and we show the oncoming ecological devastation of this new invasive like manufactured species.
So at the end of the movie, we would lead audience to think that the corporate rep, Mr. Jameson
the third.
Yeah. He never knew his father though, or what his name was. So he's buying us up.
It's tradition when you attain the rank of a marketing CEO to tack a number on.
Especially if you kill him and your own father. So we have him buying all this stuff, and the audience thinks that it's dead. Cut to Stinger 5 years later.
It doesn't matter whether they're dead. They've manufactured. They've gene spliced their own.
What I'm saying is the audience thinks they're dead at the end. Credits roll.
They think that I've pulled the wool over their eyes. And if you credit the credits, 5 years later, it's an invasive species.
Invasive species.
We're talking like Georgia in kudzu.
And Jameson is Scrooge McDuck diving through money.
He is at least securing a deal to get it shipped somewhere else.
He has a brand new Silicon Angels product shipped out immediately.
We do horizontal and vertical integration.
Shipping and handling is separate.
I told you what I wanted to name our cinematic universe.
What?
The Snafu.
Silicon.
It was
Some Nobodies.
Some Nobodies alternate future universe.
Yeah, this is right in the Snafu. Anything else you want to add on this?
This is a pretty well. For what we came to the table with,
I didn't expect it to go
good
like
work.
this. Yeah.
Good job, man.
Okay, so next week, what you're going to see when you tune in, we're going to have a guest next week. We thought we had a couple things lined up today, but that was my fault. Messed up.
Life happens.
Yeah, it does. Next week, we definitely have a guest. We're going to go through the scene that you kind of just heard me and Dylan talking about, which is the local news scene where you're going to have two news anchors. You're going to have Phil and Hill, and they're both going to be naively and arrogantly and ignorantly having a news conversation. We have a total of 5 characters. We do need a prop. We have 7 sets.
We have one integral setting. Integral.
Both.
Trajectory. That's a joke you're not going to catch unless you listen to podcast.
Yeah, which comes out tomorrow morning.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah,
anyway.
that's okay. What else? Is that it? Do we wrap this up?
I think that's good for this one.
Yeah, right.
I think we got a pretty good foundation on this.
Okay, so once again, let's run through just a couple thanks. Thank you to IBM.TV for having Some Nobodies on here with Talking UpStream. If you are for some reason just tuning in now, Talking UpStream is a show where Dylan and myself, Zach, we are Some Nobodies, and we talk our way hopefully up to a streaming service like a Hulu or Disney Plus through our creative writing and our weird whiteboard. Each week what we do is we come together. He has an idea, I have an idea, and somehow we choose one of the two ideas, and we work it from a very blank whiteboard all the way down to a
you see
product
before you.
like this, where Dylan's going to spend the next week working on this scene, where you're going to hear that next week. If you go to somenobodies.com, you can see everything that we're doing for the first two that we've already done. We have a meaner kind of magic from last week, and then we also have Super Empowered.
That's
from week one.
We
Yeah,
didn't reveal that title last week.
that's true. Yeah. So the title of that show, the Not So Superhero Super Support Group, is now
Super Empowered.
Super Empowered. Other than that, you can find me anywhere on social media at Know a Body, or find Some Nobodies and everything that we do anywhere.
You can find me on all social media at Vorpal Words, VORPALWORDS.
And that's about it.
Hey, thanks for watching.
Yeah, thanks you guys so much.
Yeah, everything. We appreciate this.
We do appreciate it.
Yeah.
We got to get to work here.
Yeah.